This is the Spurs Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Antonio Spurs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, life sure comes at you fast, and the Spurs learning that the hard way today, but not the hardest of ways, finding a way to eke out a 118-107 thriller in their home opener tonight and move to 3-0 for the first time since the 1920 season. Again, welcome into the Spurs Postcast here on Locked On Spurs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every game, every day. Thank you for making us our first listen, as you do immediately after the game or the next day, checking us out, or even the day after. We have a lot of fun conversations on the show, and we've appreciated the support through the first couple of days. I'm Casey. That is San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer Devin Brown and NBA champion Devin Brown. And honestly, man, I think for the first time, it feels like since you were around, that buzz is back in the city again.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster today in the home opener. Two great road wins coming back. Little bit of a funky win, but at the end of the day, the Spurs win the game. Excited that San Antonio's off to a 3-0 start.
All right, let's get right into it because there's a lot to talk about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So San Antonio in this game going up by 26 in the second half, midway through the third quarter on Brooklyn, who's widely viewed as maybe the worst. It's easy for us to say, but maybe the worst team in the league. Going up by 26. They certainly did not look the part of the team that was the worst team in the league because they go down by 26. They proceed to go on a 40-11 to run to go up by 5 midway through the fourth quarter, but the Spurs piece things together. Dylan Harper, fantastic. We'll hit on that point in just a little bit. He goes for 26 and 8, 20,6 rebounds, 8 assists, should say. Victor, 31 points, 14 rebounds, 6 blocks with a trio of steals as well. After that 42-11 run, the Spurs rattle off 11 of their own to go up by 3 and do not give up the lead the rest of the way. You're going to come across a lot of these games during the season, maybe not to the dramatic sense that this one was, going up by as many as 26 and going behind by 5. And then finding a way. But you come across a lot of games where you can't put teams away, but you have to like at least the fact that, and that's why I put clunky, because it felt clunky at times, but you have to like the fact that they maneuvered, they found a way, and despite blowing a big time lead, they were able to bounce back and piece together a nice win today in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, there's a couple of things here that, I have to say, because, I have to say them. I want to say this about the Brooklyn team. Their front office is doing a great job of getting some pieces in there. They have some really good guards. Obviously, Cam Thomas, we saw that today. There's a couple pieces missing there, but you saw when they got hot in the third quarter and, on into the fourth quarter, you see what they can do and how well they can score the basketball from everywhere. But let me say this about San Antonio and what we're learning about this young basketball team. 3 games in. And like I said, Casey, I'm not going to count that 5-0 preseason, although we are up to 8-0.
Haven't lost yet this year.
They haven't lost yet this year. It's looking really good. The Spurs have been where Brooklyn was a couple years ago, and now these pieces are coming together. And things look really good. Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, we talk about this all the time. They know where De'Aaron Fox is. Mm-hmm. He's on that sideline hurt right now. They know what type of player that is when he's coming back. But let me tell you what they're doing. They're going to make Coach Mitch put them on the bench, which is not going to be an easy decision.
No.
All right. So they're doing a great job of fighting, which is leading to the Spurs playing way above expectation. No one expected this 3-0. So right now the group looks good and they just have to continue playing together.
All right. I mentioned the turning point of those big runs. I want to, talk about more specifically where the things turned for the better for the Spurs. Again, anchored by that rookie.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Okay, so it was an 11-0 run that turned what was a 97-92 deficit into a 103 to 97 advantage. Dylan Harper, a big reason why. He had 5 points and an assist, a big-time offensive rebound that led to a Wemby 3, and that put them up by 6. They didn't give up the lead, but again, credit to Cam Thomas. We were talking about him. He had 40 today to get right back into it, but that was ultimately the turning point of the games, things working out for the better. And already, I think we're seeing why, and it's not really a surprise, but why he was the number 2 pick. But you just like so many aspects at this age, at this juncture, just being able to do a little bit of a lot. And that's what it was. He did more than a little bit of a lot in terms of the offensive end, but you don't account for things like offensive rebounds and keeping plays alive, per se, from a rookie, from a 19-year-old, and he already looks ahead of schedule.
Yeah, no, he does. Dylan looked really good today, really comfortable. You hit on it, 20 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, that's outstanding. That's working. That's working hard. That's not wanting to be over there, on the sideline watching these other guys do it. So he's out there taking care of his business. And he had a big night. I mean, just incredible night tonight.
Yeah, we got our buddy Ralph Armendariz commenting. Remember, he was the guy the other day who said that this was a bye week.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I think Brooklyn's watching our podcast too. So they definitely played in the locker room before the game, Casey.
Ralph, they had you queued up, bro. They had you queued up. I don't know what more to tell you. Good effort, good fight tonight from the Brooklyn Nets, but not nearly enough, I guess almost nearly enough. Not enough tonight to take care of the Spurs as they hold on to a 118-107 victory and move to 3-0 for the first time since the 2019-2020 season. Coming up on the other side, we're going to figure out, because there was a lot of cautionary parts of this, but we try to find the positive of it, because there is a lot of positive when you have a game like this. You can identify where to go from here. But before we do all that, I want to talk to you about a couple of our friends. All right, I've been checking in importantly with this Peloton thing, because I'm big into differentiating my workouts, and it's very fitting that I'm talking to you today. They got this new cross-training Tread Plus, what they're talking about. It's the most advanced equipment yet. It's designed to give you real-time guidance, endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, all that fun stuff. It's reimagining training, if you will, and that's what I'm intrigued by it, tracking your reps, suggesting the right weights, all that good stuff you need it. I like working out from home. I'm a busy guy. I have kids, kid, singular, one, and I need that flexibility. So run, lift, flex, push forward, explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today. How do you do that? You go to one Peloton, the number word, WONE, Peloton.com. And it's a good workout, and it's good to relieve you of the stresses of the money world, right? Because let's be honest, most of us can't, I don't want to say can't manage our finances. That's a little bit strong, but most of us, there's a lot of struggles that you go on in day-to-day life, and you miss out on some of your investments, 401k savings, all that stuff, and you lose track. But that's why I started using Monarch. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool, bringing all the financial life together. It works out for me. It's got an easy interface, and it really helps bring my financial life together. I need it. Don't let it slip through the cracks. Use Locked On NBA at monarch.com for your first 50% off your first year. Monarch.com. Code Locked On NBA for half of your first season. And finally, the NFL season is here, as we know, and our friends at FanDuel, they have something that you're not going to want to miss on with this football season. New customers, you bet $5, you get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put $5 down. If it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets across the app. Whether you're a casual fan or you love diving into stats, that's me. I'm a big time fantasy football player, and I like playing, keeping eyes on little over-under things like that, and makes the game day experience that much more fun. I'm all about it. I'm a sucker for it. So what are you waiting for? That's the question I pose to you. Go to www.fanduel.com, download the FanDuel app today. There are a lot of things the Spurs can fix, because when you blow a 26-point lead,
right, something goes wrong.
Something goes wrong. And a lot of things can go wrong. A lot of things do, generally speaking, go wrong. One of your and I's kind of biggest fears about this team, maybe not fears, kind of concerns about the team going into the season, is that the lack of consistent half-court offense play can be a little bit of, things stagnate. And if you can't capitalize on it on the defensive side of the floor to compensate for it, teams can get back into the game. And that's exactly what happened today. And even worse, they not only got back into the game, they took the lead. And a testament again on the other side of things, being able to bounce back and do exactly that. But you and I were talking before we got started, that's kind of a blessing in disguise, because now you kind of have a sense of validation as to what's going right and what's going wrong. And it's easy to, when your life's good and you're winning and all that stuff, but it's also easier to identify, to get better when you have nights like tonight.
All right, so let's start here. Love the city of San Antonio, been a part of it, been blessed to be here for a long time. Spurs get off to a 3-0 start. These guys have to go to HEB. These guys have to move around town. As soon as someone with the pictures and the autographs, which players love and enjoy, but what Spurs fans, the first thing out of their mouth is going to be, we're going all the way. And that's something that Coach Mitch is going to have to deal with these guys moving around like they're going to move around town. So let's get to what it is that you're talking about and where San Antonio can get better as a team and what Coach Mitch will do. Not long, because he got a game tomorrow. Obviously, it may be just a walkthrough in the morning, something like that. But the rotations at times are awful. Okay, and that's going to happen because you have so many new faces and things like that. So defensive rotations have to be better. Can't allow teams to go on stretches like this, because there's going to be some teams that come in your building that aren't going to miss the shots that they did after having a big run like that. They're going to just put you away, and we've seen that in the past. So the Spurs have to clean up some things rotational wise. Now, you hit on the offense. I agree with you in the sense that can't fall into this thing where, okay, if Wemby takes a couple of shots and he misses a couple, everybody else feels like they have to do it. That's bad basketball. So, hey, listen, I don't get paid to do that. Coach Mitch does. He'll figure it out.
You think that I don't want to say hero ball, because I feel like that would suggest a level of entitlement that I don't think that is there. But for the sake of the conversation, kind of hero ball, right?
I don't know why you're hesitating to say it.
So you think
we'll get more views? All right, we're gonna lose our fan. No, listen.
I'm listening. Yeah.
He's playing great, so he deserves to have the ball. Where I see something that I'm going to keep, pushing it down a little bit is, hey, you have some guys that can play on this San Antonio Spurs roster. And it seems like at times they know where Wemby is, but they're not always looking for him. And like I said, I'll save that little nugget. That's the nugget right there. I'm going to take that nugget. It's right here. All right. It's not going far, but you have some guys that they're trying to do their thing as well, Casey.
No, for sure. And I think we came into the year, and one of the big things that we were confident that this team could succeed upon is that you have a lot of guys that were falling into the roles that they were designed for. You're not going to win many games if Devin Vassell is your number 2 scorer on a team, right? But if Devin Vassell is shooting the ball 12 times a game as opposed to 15 to 18, you're in pretty good shape. Devin Vassell shot the ball 12 times today. Devin Vassell hit 6 of those. He fired off 6 threes today. He hit 4 of those, finishing with 16 points. You're not looking for him to go off and 30-piece to complement Victor, because you're probably not going to get that in volume, extensive volume. But to a lesser extent, like he's been doing, they've been finding that. And I think that works kind of beyond Vassell. Keldon Johnson, you saw him settling into his role last year a little bit as a bench rotational guy. That's good. That's a good spot for him. It's not an ideal spot when he's putting up 20 points a night as your leading scorer. That's not particularly ideal. I think everybody right now is falling into the place that they're designed for, and that's why they're succeeding. And realistically, it's only going to get better.
Casey, I agree with you. And that's the sentiment of what is going on in San. I understand what you guys are saying, but you get Devin Vassell is still a young player in this league.
Right.
Keldon Johnson is still a young player in this league.
Right.
So you're wanting them to fall into this old school Spurs. This is your role. This is what, but that's a conversation that they're having.
Right. As opposed to what we should be having?
Okay. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
But the conversation that they're having is, hey, man, I'm 3 or 4 years, 5 years into this league, and you want me to – I understand what we're trying to say here, but I'm just telling you from a player's aspect, that's going to be hard to do year 5. Year 15, year 12 and above, I agree with you 100%. But Devin, listen, if I'm Devin Vassell and I hit 3 in a row, threes, I might take the next 3. Whether Victor's on the floor or not on the floor. That's just from a player's aspect.
Right.
And I think that he gets caught in that sometimes. And I think that, Keldon's just going to go out there. He's a dog. He's just going to go out there and outwork you. Mm-hmm. All right. And I love that out of him because he's, like you said, he's figured out a way to stay on the floor that's crashing out. He might lead the team in offensive rebounds because he is that aggressive. So I love that out of him. So I love the mix that you're trying to and that's where this is going to, if this thing can come together, it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. But right now you have some guys that, like I said, they're fighting that. Yes, let's get the ball to Wemby and play out of it. But at the same time, if he misses a shot or misses that second shot, now we have a problem, Casey. That's all I'm saying.
Understood. I got you. All right, let's pivot a little bit before we kind of look towards Monday, or I should say, let's start looking towards Monday a little bit tomorrow. Toronto in town,
right.
Team coming in 1-1. They're in Dallas tonight. A back-to-back, a team that we talk so much about health and roles and things like that. They haven't been healthy the past couple of years.
Right.
They've got Brandon Ingram back. First time he's been playing since he was acquired last season. Emmanuel quickly looking pretty good so far through the early portion. He's been banged up. Of course, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and our old buddy, 2 buddies, Jakob Poeltl and Sandro Mamukelashvili making returns back tomorrow night to the Frost. Pivoting a little bit and thinking about tomorrow night, what's the biggest thing this team can learn from and grow from and try to make the adjustments to, make life a little bit easier on themselves?
Well, let's go both sides of it real quick, and I'll be real quick. Toronto, you got a chance to get 2 good wins. All right, let's start with Dallas. Dallas has been struggling. They got a lot of, high names out there in Dallas. Boom, we can come in here, get this, hopefully transfer that into, Monday night. Boom, we're going against San Antonio. That's 3-0. So if you're Toronto and you walk out of this Texas 2-step, they used to call it, and you go 2-0, you're feeling really good about yourselves. Spurs side, like I said, there'll be maybe a little bit of film watch, a lot of walkthrough, in the morning, getting ready for Toronto, because some of the names you just said, Brandon Ingram, he can go get you 25. Scotty Barnes is healthy again. He's an animal. Always love Scotty. Every time I play 2K, Scotty's on my team.
Go too.
So I love Scotty. Love his game. So the Spurs just have to realize there's going to be it's going to be some different matchups, Casey, because these guys are 6'7", 6'8" with Toronto. They've always been known for that. Remember when they had Pascal Siakam, he was the best match, and Kawhi, things like that. So it's going to be very interesting. The Spurs just have to continue to move the basketball, make open shots. Victor continue to be great, and they'll be fine.
All right, so Spurs winners tonight in their homestand opener. Their home opener tonight, opening a 3 games homestand over the Nets, 118-107. Putting a bow on things. Talk about our player of the game before we get out of here.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Have at it, my friend. The Rook showing up to work.
Yeah, he came with it tonight. 20 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. He did a little bit of everything. No threes taken, Casey. You like that?
I do. How about
that? Because that tells you he knows his game. All right, he comes from a great pedigree. His dad was a heck of a player. And so, he did it all tonight, found guys, they knocked shots down. He was able to get some on his own. So congratulations to him.
All right. And congratulations to the rest of the Spurs. Again, big winners today, surviving the Brooklyn Nets, a 118-107 victory. Again, back tomorrow at the Frost, second of a back-to-back, continuing the homestand against those aforementioned Toronto Raptors. Of course, we'll be here, right here with you after the game, breaking it all down. Again, thank you for making the Spurs Postcast on Locked On Spurs the first place you're checking into every day after the game. This is only the third game we've been doing this, and some of the engagement we've been having with you guys is fantastic. Is absolutely fantastic. So keep it coming. We've had a blast doing this, and it's been everything we've wanted so far. I'm going to speak for Devin. I'm going to say this for brevity's sake and timeliness sake. We agree. We've had a lot of fun. I won't speak for Devin all the time, but we're up against the clock. So that said, for my good buddy, Mr. Devin Brown, the NBA champion that it is, the San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer that it is, I'm Casey. We will talk to you tomorrow night after the game, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.